Hello everyone, this is ICBC and today I was going through this article where it's hinting that Zack Snyder is open to the idea of continuing his Justice League storyline in an animated form, and this is something that I hadn't considered before. So yeah, he was actually being interviewed by the Empire magazine and he said, yeah, absolutely, that'd be fun, that'd be cool. So just to make things clear, this is not something that's set in stone. This is just a random idea that have been floated in the air or water by this interview, by this question, and I'm glad that it's out there because before I had never considered that this was a possibility, that Zack could continue his cinematic universe in this form. And you know what, it got me thinking, like, even if it's not an animated version, what if it's like a comic or a novelization? I mean, not a novelization, I'm not into that, but I would definitely be interested if Zack Snyder releases his own, like maybe he partners up with WB and he can release his cinematic universe in a comic book form. And like, it's out there now, like people can maybe in the future adapt that into the live action, or maybe he can do that himself if the comic book is really famous. But yeah, like the idea of Zack Snyder continuing his cinematic universe in the animated form is definitely interesting, and I, again, like I said, I hadn't even considered that before. But yeah, I mean, I think people might think that it's a downgrade at some points, and it might look like a downgrade from the live action, but to be honest, I think the animated form is much better when it comes to storytelling, because one, I think maybe it's cheaper than live action, and number two, I think that animation can be really versatile. It can really do things that live action is simply not capable of doing. So I think that Zack Snyder would be more free when it comes to portraying his vision, the animated form. I mean, this is definitely big, but again, this is just a random idea that was floated in the air. I don't know if it's ever going to be actualized or materialized, but this is a fun possibility to consider. I don't know, maybe you guys can tell me what Zack Snyder can do with this animated form cinematic universe. Maybe he can revolutionize that. I mean, I think DC already had its own animated universe. I was really watching their movies, and they were really good movies, to be honest. I think DC had their own magical animated universe that was, I don't think, as popular as Marvel's live action cinematic universe, but it was still good. Like, I don't understand why those movies, animated movies, weren't really popular. Maybe because they were animated and people just consider animated things to be cartoons, so people didn't watch that. But it's really weird because those animated movies were really good, but I think that storyline has come to an end. I'm just saying that, I don't have proper information to say that, but yeah, if all of those storylines have come to an end, then I think that it's a good time for Zack Snyder to start his own animated universe. And I think it's a good thing, because if Zack Snyder does start his own animated cinematic universe, it's not going to interfere with James Gunn's plan for WB's future, whatever, I mean, those might be, because superhero movies seems to be on the decline, and Marvel, I don't think, is producing much nowadays. It's kind of taking things in the back low. So I don't know what DC is thinking about their superhero cinematic universe, because I think everyone is kind of over it right now, and even the like Marvel is not producing, so that's saying a lot. So I don't know what James Gunn is going to do, because it feels like James Gunn has come really late into the party. But yeah, I don't know what James Gunn is going to do, but I'm definitely interested in seeing Zack Snyder's universe. I don't know, man, like I was in my teen years when Batman vs Superman came out, and I was just stoked. It looked really cool. And I know that Zack Snyder is not the best man when it comes to telling compelling storylines, but he does make things look visually really cool. Like, it does scratch my comic book itch brain. So yeah, I mean, that's all I had to say for now. Let me know what you guys think about this idea. What are your thoughts? And as always, it's time for a goodbye.